Davos is a place for thought leaders to exchange ideas, and of course the theme this year is the spirit of dialogue. But the biggest question on everyone's mind is how this dialogue will take place in the face of so much uncertainty. You know, this is the one conversation point we have to start with when we're speaking to people, and Yazdi Nagpurwala, the CEO of KPMG, is with us. Yazdi, we're at a very interesting location, and I don't know if you can spot it in our camera. We're outside the USA House, which is at the English Church. And all of the action, the cues outside, all of the action really is about what Trump is going to do, what it means for the world. The USA and Europe talking about fresh tariffs. What does this mean for India? We've seen some impact on the markets, but where does India stand in the middle of all of this?
Hi, Tamanna. Let me just say, to begin with, I'm facing the mountains. So yes, you are right. The entire theme is the spirit of dialogue, and which is the main objective of getting all the business leaders in. And clearly, again, you are right. There is a huge amount of uncertainty prevailing, and especially with events lined up for today. And we'll have to see how they pan out.
No, but coming back to the point of the impact of tariffs, if tariffs do go up, I mean, I don't even know which iteration of the tariff war this is. Is second, third, fourth, 14th? Can't keep count after a point. But if there is an escalation of tariffs between US and Europe, and we don't have our trade deal so far, do you think it now starts to affect and impact Indian businesses, or are we relatively more secure?
So I don't know who has a control on tariffs at the moment. But one thing is clear, and there is a fair degree of recognition on that score as well, that India has to rely on domestic capabilities. It has to rely on domestic consumption, along with, of course, our exports and the rest of the world.
In terms of sectors where you see India really in a sweet spot, and you know we're speaking ahead of the budget as well, where do you think that growth comes with? Yes, you have the vantage point of looking at a variety of sectors, so you have some of that kind of an overview of where the growth really is coming from.
If you break it down broadly, for us it's services, manufacturing, and agriculture. Keeping agriculture aside for a moment. Services, definitely, there is a huge focus, and we've got a place in the world as far as talent and services is concerned, and we should continue to hold that. And I say this in light of all the developments we see on AI unfolding, and which will continue to unfold in the next 2 years. I would actually also talk about manufacturing, which has been a focus of the government for the last maybe few years, and that, along with a supply chain focus, will show us results.
And coming back to the point of what we can expect, or what you would hope to see in the union budget this year, considering how precarious the world is and how India can really be resilient.
I would say, without getting into specifics, I'd say we will continue our path of domestic consumption. And you saw a bit of that last year, and that should sustain, and you should see more of that whether it's in the budget or outside of that. But I think the focus that we have on domestic capabilities will continue.
We've also seen a lot of easing of taxation with the GST, rationalization coming in. I would say more than easing, a lowering of taxes. We have seen, of course, what is done with the income tax, now the labor code. In terms of compliance for businesses, do you think that we're seeing a period of maybe transition, which will be a little painful before the fruits begin to show?
You're right. We are in this phase where, end of the phase, you will see that it's much easier to have a compliant business. The approach is to stay compliant. It's part of ease of doing business. But we are in a phase of transition. If you backtrack a few years, all said and done, after GST, there were things to be sorted out, and those dynamics have all now been sorted out. So you could say we are in the second phase of GST.
Okay. What has been the highlight of your Davos trip so far, Yazdi?
It is, I would continue to believe there is dialogue. That happens definitely. India's represented fairly well, and I'm fairly proud of that, being here in Davos. A lot will be unfolded today with the events, but until today it is more around AI, and that is India's sweet spot as well. And one key philosophy or takeaway that I have now started developing is the very fact that India is building physical assets and infrastructure. Parallelly, India is building digital assets and infrastructure. And we are in a unique situation, a unique position in the world where we are building both of them simultaneously. What that means, what the opportunities are, we have yet to see.
I thought you were going to talk about one of the the after parties in Davos, which go on till the late night. That's very much part of what happens in Davos, if you have the energy to keep up. Thank you so much, Yezi. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Tawana. It's a pleasure being here.